Hello and welcome, my name is Classical101 and this is Binge Watchathon. So we're at the end of our Defenders binge with The Defenders. Since the show was so recent, here's a quick spoiler-free mini-review. It's really good, it's a damn fun time, you should all go watch it, it works a lot better if you've seen the other shows, and it's probably not the best of the Marvel Netflix shows, but it's still good. Now on to the review proper. Starting at the beginning, The Defenders starts very strong. The first few episodes are following each of the main characters separately. Matt Murdock is struggling since giving up his mantle of the Daredevil, Jessica Jones is investigating a missing person, Luke Cage is fresh out of prison and trying to help an at-risk young man, and Danny Rand is still on his quest to defeat the Hand. The first few episodes are really great at building anticipation, showing characters we haven't seen in a while, as well as letting a few side characters cross over. They really drip-feed the connections in the early episodes, so seeing Foggy talk to Luke or Missy Knight growing suspicious of Jessica really just builds up the anticipation. When the Defenders do begin meeting up, it comes together very well. They all meet up at the Hand's HQ and get in over their heads. The setup is put together very nicely, and works a lot better than I expected it to. I kinda just figured Claire Temple was just gonna be like, oh yeah, let's get all of my super friends together. That makes sense. However, in the actual show, they do it a lot better and it works a lot more to build hype. So when they are assembled, that's when things get a bit more complicated. As I said, most of the conflict is built around the Hand, a mysterious organization that has been present throughout the Marvel Defenders universe. I was very worried about this, due to the fact that the Hand has consistently been a weak element in the universe, with it being the more dull half of Daredevil Season 2 and just being mediocre in Iron Fist. So how does it do here? Better than I expected, but not incredible. The Hand is made up of 5 leaders, with Madame Gao and Alexandria being the standouts. They also have Elektra's corpse walking around as the Black Sky, who is mostly used as their muscle. This works well as it gives Matt a more personal stake, and brings Sticken in a more emotional way rather than his usual "the war is coming" character. See, the story behind Elektra's resurrection is Sigourney Weaver's character, Alexandria, brought her back from the dead to help the Hand. In doing so, she used up the last of their supply of the Mystic Mark that the Hand has been using to come back from the dead. So, the main plot of the Defenders revolves around the Hand trying to get more of the serum so they can keep coming back from the dead, and they need the Iron Fist to do this. It actually kinda works. Some of the setup early on has really tied some of these loose ends together. However, there is one main plot hole. Why did they bring Elektra back to life? They've been calling her the Black Sky, but they've literally never said what that is. In Daredevil, I got the impression she was some prophesized ancient leader or something, but they never say anything about it. She's just the Black Sky, and they never say what that is. It's so weird that there's no explanation, especially when she becomes the main villain of the season, taking over the Hand. There's a few issues with the Hand like that really bog down this season. Okay, I've been a pretty big downer. So let's be more of a downer with the action. I'm not going to focus on the action too much because it really is a mixed bag. Some of the scenes are dull and badly shot, some are good, some have a moment or two that really holds them up. I will say this, when they need to have a great moment, they pull it off. It just kinda looks a little cheesy. Alright, characters. As I said, the villains are average but better than expected. When Elektra takes over, it's a decent twist and works well for the final boss. Luke Cage is Luke Cage, and I am thankful for that. He keeps up his hero for Harlem character, and he's just such a nice guy. Jessica Jones is her usual mix of asshole and self-pity, and luckily she does get some decent development. So long as they continue with this development through Season 2, I think it'll work. I am worried the character is just gonna stay going through these motions, but as for right now, she's good. Because of Elektra, Matt has a lot going for him. His choice to suit up and become the Daredevil again isn't an easy one, but when he makes the decision, he does not hesitate. He doesn't want to be Daredevil, but deep down he really does want to help people, and once he makes the decision to suit up, he's all in. As for Danny, he's on the road to recovery. He's still mixed, but his personality is coming more into his own. It's not great, but they've set up an interesting arc that makes me hopeful for the second season of Iron Fist. Well, maybe not hopeful, I'm just not dreading it now, so that's an improvement. Before we get into final thoughts, I have 2 more things to mention. First off, the ending. It just left a bad taste in my mouth. For those watching who don't know, they do a fake-out death for Daredevil, before about 20 minutes later, showing that of course he survived. I am sick to death of superhero shows where you know they're alive. It's not even, I'm pretty sure he's alive. There is another season of Daredevil confirmed. I would have been fine if they showed it from Matt's perspective, showed him immediately alive in the rubble, and then shown all of the other characters thinking he's dead. But when you do a fake obvious death just to try and squeeze some tears out before revealing of course they're alive, it's just cheap. Alright, mini rant over. Now for the really good. Here's what I loved in Defenders. The director, the cinematographer, at least a few people behind the scenes, worked so hard at balancing these shows, combining elements and bringing them all together. Each hero has his own distinct color, so when you enter a scene that's lit red or purple, you know you're entering a Daredevil or Jessica Jones scene. And then they start crossing over, and so do these kind of techniques. In one scene, Jessica Jones is running from a hand member. She runs into a purple and red room, and who should show up but Daredevil. Other details they do like this, with some of Luke Cage's music showing up when he busts into a room to help Iron Fist, and even mimicking camera techniques used in the original shows. When Matt is following Jessica early on, they use the same camera movement and look around shot that Jessica did in season 1 of her show. It's stuff like that that really makes the crossover satisfying, seeing all of these shows and all of their techniques come together. Alright, let's wrap this up. The Defenders is one hell of a fun time, but it's hard to give an objective opinion because a lot of the enjoyment comes from seeing these shows cross over. If you've only watched Luke Cage or only seen a couple episodes of Jessica Jones, you are not going to get as much out of it. Half of the fun is seeing the worlds interact and collide, and you really need the history of all of these universes to get the most out of a crossover. However, for a long-time Marvel fan, this is one of the best crossover events ever seen, right down to its basic elements. I give The Defenders Season 1 an 8 out of 10. There are a few inconsistencies holding it back, but if you're invested enough in this universe, it's gonna be a good time. What did you guys think of The Defenders? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time for the next Binge Watchathon.